So we're investigating extraterrestrials, and there's a possibility people have thought about a different kind of humanity or being in which demons cohabitate with humans to produce a super hybrid race. Some people say extraterrestrials, it's in the Bible. Well, answers for a friend at the YMCA. I used to discuss these things with him. He wasn't a believer. Most of the ideas about demons which are unbiblical come from the Books of Enoch. They are not trustworthy. They contradict the Bible in many, many places on key doctrines. Take a look at this. Why, get it down to the right size, font size. Why the Book of Enoch is not inspired. In 1956, during the excavation of the Dead Sea Scrolls, a book called First Enoch, the Book of Enoch, was discovered. And a number of things we have here that are one statement after another, dozens of statements throughout, and they just completely contradict the Bible in every way, shape, and form. Here's just a couple. Behold, he cometh with 10,000s of holy ones to execute judgment upon all, and to destroy all the ungodly, and to convict all flesh of all the works of their ungodliness which they have ungodly committed, and all of the hard things which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. Clearly, this is very similar to Jude 1:14-15. Was Jude quoting the Book of Enoch? No. Consider that Jude 1:14-15 says in the NASB, God's word says that there will be a judgment executed upon all, but there is no stipulation that they will all be destroyed at that time. This is one right after. You can take a look at this. All kinds of theories, nothing proved out. Take a cursory look at the text through chapter 59. A restoration during tribulation period, not congruent with scriptures in the Bible. 1:8, in conflict with the doctrine that peace was made at the cross. Also in the last days of tribulation will increase for the righteous. This verse seems to dispute that, and so on and so forth. So it's not compatible in any way, shape, or form with the Bible. Angels have a range of capacities. Some are very powerful and some are not. So we have the different capacities of the angelic beings. So spirits don't literally walk through dry places. They don't have legs. The language is figurative. And the verb was mistranslated walk in the King James Version. It means go through. Okay, instead of walking. The archangel Michael didn't dispute with the devil, the most powerful angel. Other angels are not in view in this passage. Angels can possess humans. Certainly humans can, so can angels. God destroyed all mankind, including hybrids, except Noah and his family, because of such a great sin. He would not have been then permitted disembodied spirits of the hybrids who dominated the sinful earth before the flood to roam around the earth on legs in dry places to possess humans and cause them more sin than ever. So much for that. Genesis chapter 6 gives 4 reasons why God sent the flood. The wickedness of man was great in the earth. Every imagination of the thought of his heart was only evil continually. The earth was filled with violence. The earth was corrupt. And all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth. All the people on earth had corrupted their way. Angels who rebelled still to this day occupy the heavens at will. And the earth spirits of humans, including hybrids, go to Hades, paradise or torments. Angels can also be called by other names, like demons. The term fallen angel is not in the Bible, albeit the term connotes those angels who rebelled. Genesis 6:4, the Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of men and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. From Babylon, the Eclipse of Eden by Pastor Dan Hayden. The term sons of God is used of angelic beings, and therefore refers to fallen angels bearing children through demonically possessed women. The offspring were obviously supernormal, perhaps even superhuman, demonstrating a disruption of normal genetic patterns. Also, there is an otherwise inexplicable phenomenon of a special group of evil spirits who committed a particularly heinous crime and are now reserved in everlasting chains under darkness until the judgment of the great day. Notice that it is implied that these angelic beings had fallen from God's grace into sin. Hence the term, which is not stipulated in the 66 books of the Bible, is nevertheless accurate of fallen angels. Jude 1, 5-6. Now I desire to remind you, though you know all things, once for all, that the Lord, after saving a people out of the land of Egypt, subsequently destroyed those who did not believe. Jude 1:6. And the angels who did not keep their positions of authority but abandoned their own home, these he has kept in darkness, bound with everlasting chains for judgment on the great day. We're building a case this way. 2 Peter 2:4. For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but sent them to hell, Tartarus, putting them, literally Tartarus, putting them into gloomy dungeons to be held for judgment. So the word hell there, translated in 2 Peter 2:4, literally is Tartarosas, or Tartarus, not hell, but a holding compartment in the center of the earth. Sometimes these translators are a little bit remiss. To be held for judgment, and then they will be sent to the lake of fire. This event is linked by Jude to other scriptural accounts, unbelief after the Exodus and Sodom and Gomorrah, for which he was calling Christians to remembrance. See Jude 1:5, quoted above. If the angelic account is the scriptural event to be remembered, and it is, as he seems to indicate, there is no reference in the Bible other than Genesis 6:4, which would fulfill this scenario. Here it is. Nephilim were on the earth in those days, who also afterward, when the sons of God, angelic beings, went to the daughters of men, female humans, and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. The claim that angels could not produce children through humans, based upon the statement that the angels in heaven do not marry, doesn't necessarily mean that the demons on earth cannot or could not have in the past had sexual relations with women. The angels were considered supernatural by people in the Old Testament. It is also interesting to note that Peter links the angelic incident referred to above with the flood of Noah, 2 Peter 2:4-5, which reads, For if God did not spare angels when they sinned, but cast them into hell, Tartarus, and committed them to pits of darkness reserved for judgment, literally Tartarus, not hell being a holding compartment in the center of the earth, to be held for judgment, and then they will be sent to the lake of fire. 2 Peter 2:5, and did not spare the ancient world, but preserved Noah, a preacher of righteousness with 7 others, when he brought a flood upon the earth of the ungodly. Notice that the ancient world was not spared except Noah and 7 of his family, 8 in total. So those in the ancient world that were angelic human hybrids were not spared. They were killed, and their spirits would not be permitted to roam around the earth, possess humans, and cause even more evil. God's purpose was to destroy the evil and start over with Noah and his family. And John tells us that in the day of the Lord, at the 6th trumpet judgment, when Babylon comes into final remembrance before the wrath of God, 4 incarcerated angelic demonic beings, These laptop touchpads are so sensitive. 4 incarcerated demonic angels are set free from their prison in the great river Euphrates for the purpose of slaying the third part of men. Compare Revelation 9:13-15. Then the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar which is before God. One saying to the 6th angel who had the trumpet, Release the 4 angels who are bound at the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels who had been prepared for the hour and the day and the month and year were released so that they will kill a third of mankind. God released them. Did they have to choose to destroy? No, they didn't. Evil is evil. According to the scripture, fallen angels are angels who are expelled from heaven. The term fallen angel appears neither in the Bible nor in other Abrahamic scriptures, but is used of angels who were cast out of heaven or angels who sinned. Such angels are often malevolent towards humanity. The idea of fallen angels derived from Jewish Enochic stratigraphy, or the assumption that the sons of God mentioned in Genesis 6, 1-4 are angels. Some scholars consider most likely that the Jewish tradition of fallen angels predates, even in written form, the composition of Genesis 6, 1-4. In a period immediately preceding the composition of the New Testament, some sects of Judaism, as well as many Christian church fathers, identified the sons of God of Genesis 6, 1-4 as fallen angels. The presence of these traditions in Christianity, not only in the East, but also in the Latin-speaking West, is attested to by the polemic of Augustine of Hippo against the motive of giants born of the union between fallen angels and human women. Rabbinic Judaism and Christian authorities after the 3rd century rejected the Enochian writings and the notion of an illicit union between angels and women producing giants. Christianity shifted the origin of the fallen angels towards the beginning of history. Accordingly, fallen angels became identified with angels who were led by Satan in rebellion against God and became equated with demons. Islam also incorporates the concept of fallen angels. However, like Rabbinic Judaism and some Islamic scholars reject the concept of fallen angels, emphasizing the piety of angels by citing certain verses of the Quran. Hassan al-Basra not only emphasized verses which attest absolute obedience of angels to God, but also reinterpreted verses against this view. Accordingly, he read the term Malachi, meaning angels, in reference to Harut and Marut in 2:102 as Malachian kings, depicting them as ordinary men and not as angels. Now we have the Book of Enoch relative to this matter of extraterrestrials and demons. The Book of Enoch mention of angels who physically descended and figuratively fell to Mount Hermon is found in the Book of Enoch, which the Ethiopian Orthodox Church and Eritrean Orthodox Tewahedo Church accept as biblical canon, despite all the contradictions, as well as in various pseudegraphia. But the Catholic Church has its Apocrypha as well. But the Book of Enoch has serious contradictions with what the 66 books of the Bible teach. You can take a look at that study, or just go online. Second Temple period. The concept of fallen angels is mostly found in the Book of Enoch, chapters 6-9, the Qumran Book of Giants, and perhaps in Genesis 6, 1-4. The reference to heavenly beings called watchers originates in Daniel 4, in which there are 3 mentions, twice in the singular, once in the plural, of watchers or holy ones. The ancient Greek word for watchers is literally translated as wakeful. In the Book of Enoch, these watchers fell after they became enamored with human women. The second Book of Enoch, Slavonic Enoch, refers to the same beings of the first Book of Enoch, but in the Greek transcription of Gregory, a number of apocryphal works, including 1 Enoch 10:1-4, Enoch, link the fall of angels' transgression with the great deluge. Now we can belabor the books of Enoch, but there's so much discrepancy, there's no point in reconsidering every little detail. We have the origin of demons. Angels mating with humans is against God's command and is a cursed action, resulting in the wrath of God coming upon earth. It is contended by some that demons originate from the evil spirits of the giants that are cursed by God to wander the earth until their final judgment.